Well, good morning, Jaginder Rana here. Discussing health insurance frauds in India. Health insurance frauds in India. But to what extent would people not go for money? A 55-year-old woman from Mumbai allegedly faked her death twice in 2 years. But why, you may ask? To claim insurance worth rupees 1.1 crore, of which rupees 70 lakh had already been paid, the family managed to deceive 4 insurance companies. How did she carry out the fraud? According to the police FIR, Kanchan Bai, alias Pavitra, bought insurance policies from Max Life, Bharti AXA, HDFC, and Future Generali, totaling approximately rupees 1.1 crore. So after purchasing the policies, the family declared Kanchan dead and submitted fake death and cremation certificate to claim the insurance money. Between 2021 and 2023, the insurance companies disbursed rupees 70 lakh based on these fraudulent claims. So the scam came to the light when one of the insurers noticed discrepancies while processing an additional claim of rupees 41 lakh, prompting an internal investigation. So the first report at fake death occurred on October 11, 2021, with Kanchan's son, Dhandas, submitting documents that led to a payment of rupees 20.4 lakh after verification. Another insurer settled a claim of rupees 25 lakh for the same death. On October 2023, another death was recorded under the name. So Pavitra Bad Rohit, the husband, receiving rupees 24.2 lakh. However, an audit in January 2024 raised suspicions due to inconsistencies like the same address but different names of the insured on Aadhaar and PAN cards. So prompting insurers to exchange information and uncover the fraud. Realizing their scheme was exposed, the family absconded. In another case, last year in January, a man with insurance policies worth rupees 7.4 crore faked his death in a car accident. The man had multiple policies and staged a fatal accident to claim the money. So highlighting the lengths to which individuals will go for financial gain, Vineet Mehta, partner at EY Forensic and Integrity Services, told the absence of a reliable identification system and the lack of biometric authentication during hospital admissions have facilitated such fraudulent activities. So what is insurance fraud in fact? Insurance fraud is when a company or consumer knowingly deceives an insurance company for personal gain. It can happen during the buying, using, selling, or underwriting process of handling insurance claims. Now, then what is life insurance fraud? Life insurance fraud occurs when an insured person or an insurance company alters or provides false information with the goal of financial gain. So it can include lying on an application, forgery, selling fake policies, faking a death, murder, and agents not paying premiums to the insurance company. So insurance scams are rampant. Insurance fraud is not limited to India. In the US, scammers cost non-health insurers upward of $40 billion a year. In the UK, insurers uncovered 107,000 fraudulent claims worth almost US pound 1.3 billion in 2019. So an estimated $308.6 billion annually is lost to insurance fraud in the US each year. Insurance frauds cost an estimated $900 per consumer, mostly due to increased premiums as a result of fraud. A study by Forbes reveals the most costly category of insurance fraud is healthcare. Healthcare insurance fraud, including Medicaid and Medicare insurance fraud, which cost consumers an estimated $105 billion annually, followed by life insurance fraud, $74.7 billion, and property and casualty insurance fraud, $45 billion. So the Reinsurance Group of America, a global life and health insurer, lists what insurers can look at before dispatching a claim. First of all, body identification, where the police called to the scene when the body was found, and how can the insurers access the police report. The report usually includes witness statements helpful in establishing the death's circumstances, collected evidence, and who identified the body. Then medical records. If the disease was taken to a hospital, there might be hospital record available. Insurers should review these records to ensure they belong to the diseased person. Dental records can also aid in physical identification. Then autopsy access. If an autopsy was performed, the insurer should obtain the report as soon as possible. And then death certificate. Verification of the death certificate is essential but can be difficult in unfamiliar jurisdictions. But understanding the local process for issuing death certificate is crucial. Cremation. Insurers should verify if a death certificate was issued before cremation, as some jurisdictions and religions require prompt cremation. Then appropriate documentation. Ensure documents are admissible in court proceedings, possibly requiring notarization and an apostille for authentication. Assets. Ask about the estate's assets. If the only asset is the life insurance policy, something might be amiss. Legalities. Seek legal counsel to maintain privilege and confidentiality in communications. Managing multiple communications to avoid waiving privilege, preventing insurance fraud. Implementing measures such as mandating life insurance policy, declarations on death certificates to alert medical professionals, and establishing a centralized claim database across insurance companies can help detect and prevent fraud. So, imagine there is an urgent requirement for surgery to remove a tumor from your brain. You file an insurance claim, hoping for the best. But what if someone else's deceit could threaten your access to coverage or even drive up the cost of your premiums? Yeah. In this way, fraud can be directly or indirectly consequential for many people. Health insurance fraud is a serious problem in India. There are various types of frauds that can trick you and make you lose not just your money but your belief in health insurance. To make you aware of the different types of fraud in health insurance, just see some examples. Application fraud. These are the health insurance sector frauds. First one is application fraud. This fraud includes knowingly giving false information on a health insurance application. For example, a person goes to buy a health insurance policy but does not disclose a pre-existing condition to get lower premium rates. So this way he might get the policy, but later he has to face difficulties while making the claim. Then claim fraud. So when the policy holder files a false and inflated claim for medical expenses, such as submitting the bills of service that you never received, exaggerating the severity of a condition, or even staging a medical incident. Then multiple policy fraud. When someone buys multiple health insurance policies from different insurers without informing any of the insurers and then file claims with each one for the same medical problem, this way you might get in a huge trouble later on. Billing fraud. When the insurer charges you for the services that are not rendered, inflating the charges for services or upcoming procedures, meaning you got a bill for a more expensive service than what was actually performed. Deliberate fraud. When someone intentionally deceives an insurance company to get financial gain, the act is planned and purposeful and very different from accidental errors or misunderstandings. this type of fraud, people usually lie or fabricate the evidence to get the claim. And the last one is the eligibility fraud. So when the policyholder misrepresents the information intentionally on the application or during the claim process to gain coverage or benefit, most of the time it happens to show eligibility to get the policy or claim. It can be related to health history, employment status, number of dependents, or anything related to eligibility. So how to detect the frauds in health insurance? Identifying the red flags of your relationship is not that. There's more. Health insurance frauds are major red flags and you should keep an eye out of them too. How you ask? Policyholders red flag. Unusual high number of claims, especially for minor condition. This can be a sign that someone is trying to exploit the system. Discrepancies between the application, medical records and claims. This inconsistent information can raise suspicion. Look out for the claims for services they never received to or from the providers that they never visited. If the claim seems exaggerated for the treatment received, it could be inflated. Incomplete or fabricated medical records can be a huge red flag. Multiple health insurance policies for the same purpose might be planned fraudulent claims. And then healthcare provider red flags. Not rendering the bill for the services offered, a classic indicator of fraud. Billing for a more expensive service than what was actually performed. Recommending unnecessary tests to procedures to drive up the cost and care. Fraudulent billing mistakes might be the intention to get more money from the insurer. Claims from a healthcare provider which is no longer in operation could be fraudulent. A sudden spike in claims from one particular healthcare provider or location might be suspicious. So these are just some indicators and not all instances of the frauds. However, if you suspect something is wrong, it's important to report it to the insurance company. Committing health insurance fraud could be or can result in a serious web of consequences impacting you financially, legally, and potentially even medically. Here is breakdown of the potential repercussions. First of all, claim penalties, financial penalties. Say. Claim denial. If fraud is detected, your insurance company will likely deny your claim, leaving you responsible for the full cost of medical services. Then policy termination. The insurance company might cancel your policy entirely, making it difficult or expensive to obtain new coverage. Then fines. Depending on the severity of the fraud, you could face hefty fines imposed by the legal system. And then restitution. You may be ordered to repay the insurance company and any money they lost due to your fraudulent claims. There are legal repercussions also. Civil lawsuit. Insurance company may sue you to recover their losses. And health insurance fraud can be a crime with potential jail time depending on the amount of money involved in the estates of law. So a history of fraud can make it very challenging to get new health insurance in the future. Healthcare providers may be hesitant to treat you on credit if you have a history of fraud. So, health insurance is there to protect you during your medical emergencies. Don't let someone else's deceit take away your right to quality health care. Raise your voice against this fraud to safeguard yourself in future. And if you are trying to commit health insurance fraud, it is crucial to understand the significant risks involved. It is simply not worth jeopardizing your finances, freedom, and access to future health care for a short-term gain. There are many legitimate ways to manage healthcare costs, and exploiting those options is far better than resorting to any sort of fraudulent activity. Because the health insurance fraud is estimated to drain the system of billions of rupees every year. every year. So, health insurance fraud is a serious problem in India, and there are various types of frauds. They all need to be controlled. Thank you. Thank you very much.